In 1965, Israel illegally obtains enriched uranium from NUMEC, Nuclear Materials and Equipment Corporation. In 1967, the treatment of the Palestinians by the Zionist Jews finally ignites enough anger in the Arab world for Egypt, Jordan, and Syria to mobilize on Israel's borders. All of these three countries are suddenly attacked by Israel, and as a result, the Sinai, which included Gaza, was stolen from Egypt, and the West Bank and the Jordan River stolen from Jordan. As a result of this, on June 8th, the Israeli launched an attack on the USS Liberty with Israeli aircraft and motor torpedo boats in an effort to blame it on Egypt, to bring America into the war on their side, and of course, follow to the letter their Mossad motto, by way of deception thou shalt do war. As a result of their attack, 34 American servicemen were killed and 174 wounded. Israel lies as usual, claiming it mistook this warship that was flying a large United States flag for an ancient out-of-service Egyptian horse carrier, El Quasir, that was 180 feet shorter. They also claimed the ship was in the war zone and when it was actually in international waters, far from any fighting. The Israelis' attack on this warship lasts for 75 minutes, during which time they shoot up one of the United States flags, resulting in the sailors desperately raising another one. In the aftermath of this attack, the American sailors who survived are warned by the United States military not to discuss the matter with anyone due to national security. This story gets no prominence in the Rothschild-controlled mainstream media, and as usual, Israel is in no way even rebuked for their crimes by their subservient country of America. The following day, on June 9th, Israel illegally occupies the Golan Heights, which is seized from Syria. This area goes on to provide Israel with 1/3 of its fresh water. Israeli General Metayaha Palet is quoted in Haaretz, 19 March 1972, with the following statement: "The thesis that the danger of genocide was hanging over us in June of 1967 and that Israel was fighting for its physical existence is only bluff, which was born and developed after the war." Another sickening and deceptive statement, but again, at least he's consistent with the Mossad motto, by way of deception thou shalt do war. The Rothschild Fiers is renamed Bank Rothschild. 1968, Naomi Hoffman, wife of Maurice de Rothschild, dies. In 1970, while working for Senator Henry Scoop Jackson, Ashkenazi Jew Richard Pearl is caught by FBI giving classified information to Israel. Nothing is done. British Prime Minister Edward Heath makes Lord Victor Rothschild the head of his policy unit. Whilst he is in that role, Britain enters the European Community. In 1973, in his book None Dare Call It Conspiracy, Gary Allen states, "One major reason for the historical blackout on the role of the international bankers in political history is the Rothschilds were Jewish." The Jewish members of the conspiracy have used an organization called the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, as an instrument to try and convince everyone that any mention of the Rothschilds and their allies is an attack on all Jews. In this way, they have stifled almost all honest scholarship on international bankers and made the subject taboo within universities. Any individual or book exploring this subject is immediately attacked by hundreds of ADL communities all over the country. The ADL thugs have never let the truth of logic interfere with its highly professional smear jobs. Actually, nobody has a right to be more angry at the Rothschild clique than their fellow Jews. The Rothschild empire helped finance Adolf Hitler. George J. Lehr, an employee of the Rothschilds-controlled IBM, invents the UPC, Universal Product Code, barcode, which will eventually be placed upon every item traded worldwide and bear the number 666. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 17 through 18, states the following in relation to this number: "And that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. The whole satanic aims of the Rothschilds are now in full view of the world. Everything bought or sold carries the mark of the beast, 666. N.M. Rothschild and Sons British Newfoundland Corporation Churchill Falls project in Newfoundland Canyon is completed. N.M. Rothschild and Sons also created a new asset management part of the company, which traded worldwide. This eventually became Rothschild Private Management Limited. Edmund D. Rothschild, a great-grandson of Jacob James Mayer Rothschild, bought the Cru Bourgeois estate of Chateau Eclair in Bordeaux. In 1976, Ashkenazi Jew Harold Rosenthal, aide to Ashkenazi Jew Senator Jacob Javits, states, "Most Jews do not like to admit it, but our God is Lucifer." In 1978, Ashkenazi Stephen Bryan, then a Senate Foreign Relations Committee staffer, is overheard in a Washington, D.C. hotel offering confidential documents to top Israeli military officials. You can read the Rosenthal documents on IamTheWitness.com. Bryan obtains a lawyer, Nathan Lewin, and the case heads for the grand jury, but is mysteriously dropped. Bryan later goes to work for Richard Pearl. In 1979, the Egyptian-Israeli peace treaty in 1979 was underwritten by United States aid, which pledged $3 billion annually to Israel from the United States taxpayer. Not even a drop in the ocean when you consider the amount they make off the Federal Reserve. Shin Bet, the Israeli Internal Security Agency, tries to penetrate the U.S. Consulate General in Jerusalem through a honey trap using a clerical employee who was having an affair with a Jerusalem girl. Baron and Baroness Philip D. Rothschild, in a joint venture with Robert Mondavi, begin the construction of a pyramid in Napa Valley, California, where the leader founder of the Church of Satan, Ashkenazi Jew Anton LaVey, was based. This is known as Opus 1, which means the first work, and the front for this temple is it is a winery. In 1980, the global phenomenon of privatization starts. The Rothschilds are behind this from the very beginning in order to seize control of all publicly owned assets worldwide. These beautiful sculptures are in the lobby of the Chamber of Commerce building at The Hague, Netherlands, and the Rockefeller Center in New York. The Hague is home to the World Court. These works of art make me feel so good all over, don't they? In 1981, Bank Rothschild is nationalized by French government. The new bank is called Compagnie Européenne des Banques. The Rothschilds subsequently set up a successor to this French bank, Rothschild and C. Banque, RCB, which goes on to become a leading French investment house. In 1982, from September 16th to the 18th, future Prime Minister of Israel and then Defense Minister Ashkenazi Jew Ariel Sharon orchestrates Israel's invasion of Lebanon, which provided aerial lighting in order to facilitate the killing of between 1,000 and 2,000 men, women, and children in the Sabra and Shatila massacres. In 1985, Eustace Mullins publishes Who Owns the TV Networks, in which he reveals the Rothschilds have control of all three major U.S. networks, which are NBC, CBS, and ABC. The New York Times reports the FBI is aware of at least a dozen incidents in which American officials transferred classified information to the Israelis, quoting former Assistant Director of the FBI, Raymond Wannell. The Justice Department does not prosecute